Let's talk about food. There is food that gives you energy, and there is food that takes your energy. Where we walk into a supermarket or where we walk into a restaurant, all the responsibility about what we're gonna order or what we're gonna buy relies on us. So what do you prefer? Do you prefer something that makes you feel good, or do you prefer something that makes you feel really bad? While at this point, we don't realize that we have a huge responsibility with ourselves. And that responsibility is to look after our body and our mind. What about exercising? What about understanding now that you don't need to go to a gym in order to exercise, or you actually don't even need a trainer in order to learn how to exercise? So that mix between food and training is probably the best things that you can do for yourself.
So just to give you an idea, I want to give you some examples of all the things that change after I start changing my diet and I start exercising more. So I had a lot of issues with depression, for instance. So it's not like all the whole thing of depression went away, but it definitely got better. And one of the biggest things that I kind of saw a lot of difference is with PCOS. Obviously, this is more related to women, to female health. And let me tell you something, a lot of people told me, you're probably not gonna be able to get out of that, you need to take a lot of medication. As soon as I changed my diet, I start seeing a massive improvement with everything related with PCOS and obviously with PMS. So when we have a lot of food, which is highly processed, which causes a lot of inflammation, this is obviously a lot of triggers for our PMS. So there you go, women, if you suffer a lot with things like this, PCOS, PMS, if you have a lot of issues with your body, with not liking your body, with feeling a little bit down, anxious, change the way you eat. I promise you, it's one of the biggest and the best things that you can do for your body and your mind.
Let's talk about nature. Let's talk about getting out of our daily routine in the city and connected with nature. This is something that a lot of us lost with the years. You don't realize the power effect that nature has on us, not only physically but also mentally. Just getting out of the noise, of the external noise, and getting inwards, and understanding that silence is also a type of therapy. So this is also in our hands, our responsibility. Do you want to stay and spend every single day in front of a screen, or do you want to take some time to reflect on yourself and be a little bit more present?
Those who don't move don't notice their chains. I think this phrase is very well connected with everything that is related to the comfort zone. I made a video a couple of months ago about it, so if you haven't watched it, please go and watch it as soon as you watch this video. But what happened? We are humans scared of change. We are people who get very pleasant and comfortable in certain positions that when there is a moment to make a change, to feel uncomfortable, it becomes like a big project. And a lot of people decide not to do it because they're scared of change, because they don't want to put the effort, but you don't know what it is on the other side. Don't be scared of making a change. What is the worst thing that can happen? When you think about what is the worst thing that can happen, and actually you realize that it's not that bad as you think, this is something that it will help you to make changes a little bit quicker and better. And yes, you don't want to get too old and then regret a lot of things that you didn't do.
Sleep, procrastination. I think most of my clients always tells me how little they sleep, and this is one of the things that we also kind of lost within the years. We not taking the right time, and we are not prioritizing our sleep. This is as important as exercising and eating, so please make sure you're sleeping enough.
Going around thinking all the time, what will people think about me? So I guess for me, for someone who comes from a place like Colombia, is a religious country where there are a lot of rules between what is right and what is wrong. So I grew up in a town where I was constantly scared of what would people say about me. So I was constantly looking after my reputation, especially as a woman. So when I moved to the UK, I realized I had a little bit of that space to be a little bit more free. And this is one of the things that helped me the most to actually develop as a person. Now I'm sitting here filming a YouTube video, talking to people, putting myself in the screens for people to either criticize me or to love me. One of the things I learned with time is that, of course, we always gonna care about what people say, but it's about how we react to the negative comments. If we go or if we let negative things stop us from reaching our goals or for making money or for, I don't know, if you want to be a model and you think you don't have that model body because you think people are going to criticize you, you have to do things for you and not for anyone else. So this is a big lesson I learned with the years after growing up in Colombia and having to constantly think about what would people say about me. Finally, I broke free of that when I moved out. And let me tell you something, this is a whole new advice for happiness in life. Don't let people ruin your life.
And finally, let's talk about learning new skills. So sometimes we also kind of have the excuse to say we are too old to learn something. This year, I put myself in this awkward situation of learning how to ski, something that I never really wanted to do because I was scared of doing it. Not only that, I also decided to move to a new country again and start learning a new language. I think not being brave enough to taking this skill, these risks, are also something that tend to kind of slow down the way that we live our lives. And we are kind of pushing ourselves to deprive for beautiful new adventures. So this is why it's so important, like in the same that I just mentioned before, you need to get out of your comfort zone. Because you're gonna understand that there is more on the other side of the road. My last advice is always try to find a good balance in life. For me, minimalism, healthy eating, connecting with nature, sleeping properly is probably one of the best tools I have to make my life a little bit better and a little bit more fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, please don't forget to give it a like, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye bye.